as you watch the video that I have shared to you, so you have three states of matter, which is solid, liquid and gases. So for this video I want to further explain about the kinetic theory of matter. Okay, so kinetic theory. So the word kinetic is referred to the movement. Okay, as you know, the matter, the discrete particles either can vibrate or move. For solid they only can vibrate, but for the gas and liquid they can move. So the kinetic theory of matter, they explain that all the matter are made up by discrete and tiny particle. Discrete and tiny particles means the particles are very small and you cannot see with the bare eyes. As you see the table, it is solid, but you never see the particles of the table itself, okay, because they are very tiny and they are the simplest form of the element. And then the kinetic theory also mentioned that the particle can vibrate or random movement, okay, vibrate or random movement. And the kinetic theory also explained that the particle attracted by intermolecular forces, okay, especially for the solid. As you know, they are very close to each other, so means the attraction is very strong, so they are attracted by the forces. Okay, so basically the particles have higher kinetic energy, means they have the energy to move, higher kinetic energy. Okay, so this is the kinetic theory of matter. Okay, so basically if you see your textbook, we can differentiate the matter into element and compound. Okay, so how you want to know element? Later I will share you a periodic table. Okay, so if you see the periodic table, we have some elements. For example, you can see the symbol of C. So this is element because they exist as a single symbol. Okay, for example, you see the symbol of Na letter. This Na is a one symbol. We're using a capital and small letter, so this is referred by one symbol, sodium, and another symbol is chlorine. Okay, this is also element. But for example, you have O2. O2 also element because even though you have small 2 here, O2 means you have 2 oxygen, but they still exist as the same element. Okay, so if the symbol have the same symbol, so we classify them as elements. So that's why we can split them as atom and also molecule. Okay, so for the element, atom, as I mentioned just now, is a simple form, means they exist as one. Okay, for you to understand, it exists as one. For example, carbon, you have Na, you have Cl. So here you see you have one Cl, one Na, one carbon. So they are atom, they are element. But for example, O2. O2 is element also, but they are molecule because they exist as two. You have N2, same element, you have two nitrogen, but they are molecule because they have more than one. You have H2, also molecule. So you can have magnesium, you can have aluminium, you can have what else? You can have Cu. So if there is one element only, so means they are atom. Okay, so that is you differentiate between atom and molecule. For the compound, they exist as more than one element. More than one element. For example, you can split them into molecule and into ion. For example, H2O. H2O is molecule. As you see, they have two different elements, H and O. So they are not element, they are compound because you have more than one element. And so here, so why they are molecule? Because it's combination non-metal and non-metal. Same for CO2, you have two more elements, you have carbon, you have oxygen, so they are compound. But why they are molecule? Because you have non-metal, you have non-metal. For ion, for example, you have copper chloride, you have argentum bromide. What else? You have copper carbonate. Okay, so here you refer, you have metal, non-metal, metal, non-metal, metal, non-metal, non-metal. So ion is combination of metal plus non-metal, while molecule is combination of non-metal and non-metal. So this is how you differentiate element and compound, and also how you explain the kinetic theory of the metal. So I hope you can fill up the module based on this video. Okay.